Hello viewers, it's Super GT here. Welcome back to A class. The class where it all began. The class where carnage is very much a staple diet of the drivers. But never mind the fact here that I'm still GTR Super GT. Yes, this is an older clip, but there are bigger things to worry about, like this absolute orgy of terror going through turn 1. We're about 7 wide right now going down the hill towards Eau Rouge. Now, if you've ever wondered how baby cars are made, here's how. You kind of get interested in each other, mount each other from the front, and then get someone else to ram you from behind. And then the result of that is a baby car. So, if you ever wondered, there you go. That's how it happens. And we've got through that in 12th. And then at the end of the straight, so we're going to catch up with a couple of guys here. A Brazilian, here we go. A couple of guys off. Plenty of smoke screens being laid down for us. Thank you very much. Car ghosted out. Okay, we have actually gained 3 positions there through that chicane sequence. Not bad. As we come down into a Rivage, I believe it is. I have got these corner names wrong. Just like I get everything wrong, like car names, corner names. So please do correct me when I'm wrong, which I probably will be many times. Now, being careful is the name of the game here for me. Look at that, another 2 guys off. I think too many people, well, pretty much everyone in these hoppers, they just fight far too much for a position and then they end up crashing. Just like these, pretty much everyone I've gone past on this lap has been, apart from that BMW, they've been battling too much, end up crashing. You lose more time, you lose more positions. Perhaps the better compromise would be hold back a little bit, and in the long run you'll probably gain or keep more positions that way. Just a tip maybe. I guess not everyone really watches my videos because there's still plenty of just pure mayhem in these hoppers, so clearly not many people taking note. Anyway, losing a bit of time there on the gravel, but then at the end of the Kemmel Straight, lap number 2 of 2 in 7th place, so a 4-way scrap here for 5th place. 6th place is in sight. I think 1st is well gone. That wasn't the best of exits there onto this mini straight going into Rivage. Braking on the end of the curb and just hooking in nicely towards the apex. You have to be very patient through this corner. It's got a negative camber, so you will kind of slide away if you accelerate too early. Back over to the right hand side, and this corner kind of hooks you around quite nicely. I've got a decent run on the Ferrari, although actually not quite alongside. It'd be a bit of a risky move. Actually, he's braked very early. I've gone actually way too deep, so he's going to go for the cutback. I would imagine there he is, reappears. I'm going to have to settle for 7th for this time, for the time being. Still some time here though to get back a position. Ferrari up the inside of the Chevy, make side-by-side contact. Nothing too bad. Ferrari a little bit sideways again, making contact, and then I'm through 2 positions into 5th. And again, it's the thing I was saying earlier. Don't battle too much or too hard, otherwise you will lose more position. Oh, it's all gone wrong. I'm not sure who's to blame for that one, but the Ferrari is off into the tyre wall. The Jaguar a little bit slow there on the exit onto the back straight, and I'm going to go through up into 4th place. Potential for 3rd place though. Let's see how this corner goes. Blanchimont just exiting or entering 2 wheels over the white line gives you a good entry, and it's still clean just about. Getting into the slipstream. Is he going to go defensive? Yes, he is. Pull out to the left-hand side. Are we going to go around the outside? No, he's gone a little bit deep. So we're going to go to the far right to give us a better exit. And there we go. Look at that. The Viper out-dragging the Chevy Camaro there over the line. And that's going to be a 3rd place. Not bad, actually. Fought through pretty well. And it's better than 6th, where I normally finish. So going over to Road Atlanta in the States. 3rd on the grid in the Honda NSX 92. This guy in the Beetle is just going to get a little bit impatient, go for the gap that wasn't quite there, and totally annihilate himself. Around the outside of the VW, and I'm through into 1st place. Not bad so far. Let's see how we can take the S's. This car is absolutely stunning for grip. I mean, it really does grip very well. And this is kind of a textbook start really. Just as I said in the previous race, keep your nose clean, and hopefully, or most of the time, you will just benefit out of other people's misfortune or just lack of skill. Lack of skill is usually the case. Now, we're going to have an incident here with Forza Police, or imposters of the Forza Police. Look, he's just going to wipe me out, push me into the wall. Luckily it wasn't a tyre wall, because I would have just bounced off there. That one actually you just glance off it quite nicely and carry on going. Now I don't really want to get alongside him, so I was just going to try and batter him off the track. And there we go, just do a nice pit manoeuvre on the police. See you later. Now actually that's going to play into the hands of this BAC mono. That's not good news, I can't be having that. And I saw a proximity arrow flying across the screen there, so he's just killed himself completely. Now the mono, and not the best car in a straight line, and neither is my car actually, but then you can see just how bad the mono is in a line. The fact that it gets overtaken by this car, which really puts all of its eggs in one basket, the handling basket, and not the top speed one. Still going through though into first place as we enter the final lap round the last corner. You can take that one flat out in this car. There we go, nicely done. And that was pretty much the full extent of that race. The mono couldn't quite keep up, so just rounding out the final corner on the final lap to actually win a race, guys. Yes, I won a race, well done. We're going to move then to Watkins Glen. What a great track this is. In probably my favourite, or one of my favourite cars in A-Class. It's the Cadillac CTS-V, and it's a bit of a beast. I mean, it's heavy, but in many ways that can kind of help it. It gives it a certain solidarity to the handling. It makes it quite stiff, quite predictable, which is what you want really. I mean, well, stiffness not necessarily, but predictability, yes, you want it to be consistent and predictable in the handling. So up the back straight we do have the chicane. I usually go by that long shadow that goes across the track. The VW Beetle there hitting the inside barrier, then going across into the outside barrier. So that's another suicide we've seen in this video. Along the long right hand at the back of the track onto the back straight. So it's the short version. Just going to tuck into the slipstream of the Lancia 37. Now the Lancia 37, even since the Forza 4 days, perhaps even 3, I'm not sure, but definitely from Forza 4 onwards, it's always been one of these cars that's been really good around long corners. That's something I've noticed, especially tracks like Bernese Alps, which has lots of very long corners. So yeah, the Lancia 37, definitely one to look out for when you see it around these tracks. So you can see that it's actually quick in a straight line as well, actually pulling away from the Cadillac here. The Cadillac is not too bad. I think the Cadillac is a good all-rounder. The tune by DTM Lionel E46, and yeah, not JSR Lee Campbell. So you know, just let the crusades begin, I guess. Depends which tuner religion you follow. But we are gaining, we're keeping up with the Lancia through the chicane quite nicely. And again, I think it's that certain weight to this car, it does help it around there. And then just looking around the outside, couldn't quite pull it off as he just went a little bit wide, made a bit of a mistake. That's going to give me a bad run onto the back straight through the tyres, a million tyres that have somehow got themselves onto the track at this point, in the middle of a straight. I mean, can't people just keep in a straight line on the straight? Clearly not. Into the final turn. Make sure you don't hit those inside curbs because they will throw you out. They're not very nice at all. And then we're going to skip to the start of lap number 4 into the S's. You see there just how well that Lancia handles the S's. It kind of just throws itself in. Just about going to graze that wall. I think I just grazed it. But sometimes you can touch that wall and it doesn't really harm you too much. Massive gap back to 3rd place. So let's see what we can do through the chicane. Just breaking on the shadow again that goes across the entire track. Hooking up with the apex is very nicely there. I think we've gained, but it's not quite going to be enough as we go through the long right-hander. Unless he does something severely drastic here and makes a massive mistake, or a backmarker completely annihilates him. It's not going to happen, and it doesn't happen. I'm going to finish in 2nd. So there we go. A 4th, a 1st and a 2nd. Actually not bad results, better than normal. And that's going to bring a close to the video. I do hope you enjoyed it, guys. Do hit the like button if you did, and subscribe for more of the same. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Some top class, A-class action for you today. I do hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.